Hello everyone, my name is Samir Sudana. I'm a plus educator on Unacademy, and today we have with us Hemant Agarwal, who will be sitting for IIM-Rohtak interview on 11th of February. So he have got call from IIM-Rohtak based on his CAT score, and today we'll be taking a mock interview of Hemant Agarwal. I'll be asking questions uh, from Hemant based on the resume that he has given to me. So you will get an idea what are the type of questions that you can expect in MBA's interviews. Hi Hemant, how are you?
I'm good, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself.
As you know, sir, I'm Hemant Agarwal. I hail from Belur in the state of West Bengal. Having done my schooling here, I did my graduation from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata in 2015, wherein I pursued Chartered Accountancy course. I went on to complete my Chartered Accountancy course in May 2016. I have cleared all my three levels of Chartered Accountancy in my very first attempt. My interest in finance led me to pursue CFA post my CA, wherein I cleared two levels of CFA, that is CFA level 1 and level 2, in my very first attempts. Post that, I appeared for CAT into CAT 2017, but my scores were not good enough to get me a call from any good colleges. So, alongside my preparation for CAT, I started mentoring students from 2018. And for the past 2 years, I have been mentoring students as well as I have been preparing for CAT. My last two scores in CAT were not good. That's why I am here. I applied for CAT 20 and I am here.
So Hemant, tell me the reason. What do you think? You have already cleared CFA level 2, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
I
Yes, sir.
guess you already have a kind of knowledge where you can, get a very good job in the corporate sector based on your qualification in the finance. How do you think I am
Yes, sir.
Rohtak curriculum or I am Rohtak PGP program will help you getting a higher goal as compared to what you will be getting on CFA level 2?
So I think as far as the technical part is concerned, CFA does provide the technical knowledge, but I think an MBA program for IIM Rohtak will help me grow personally, wherein I'll acquire various skills, be it managerial, be it interpersonal, and I'll get to know various domains of management, be it operations, HR, finance, marketing, and that will enhance my managerial skills and help me understand how the business functions, especially in this complex uncertain environment during this time. So I am here pursuing aspiring to be an aspirant of amrut, a candidate. I'm basically aspiring to be in your college.
What was your learning from CFA? Why did you decided to go for CFA? What was the reason for that?
So, in my CA final course, we have a subject called strategic financial management. And in that subject, we touch upon various aspects of finance, be it forex, how we account for forex, foreign exchange and portfolio management, and security analysis, how we value shares, be it bond shares, equity shares, convertible shares. So and that subject was interested me very much. So I thought that what could be the course in which I can enhance my knowledge in this area. So I got to learn about the CFA course and I pursued it, and it very much was fell to my expectation, and I continued it. And so my knowledge in this finance field was enhanced during my preparation of CFA level 2. So, sir, I uh,
Okay,
joined CFA level 2.
what are the convertible bonds?
So convertible bonds are bonds in which you have an option wherein you can convert the bonds after a specified period of time into shares. So these bonds are issued by company since they are giving you an advantage. Since you have an advantage, the shareholder has an advantage that you can convert the bonds after a specified period of time into shares. So they trade at a discount to various other shares, which is the bonds.
What is working capital?
So working capital is the funds which are required by the company in day-to-day operations of the company. Uh, in accounting terms, we say it as current assets minus current liabilities. In in layman language, we can say that the funds which the company requires. So in day-to-day operations of the company, the
What is a
company
negative working
needs.
capital, Hemant? What is negative working capital? And in what industries we use negative working capital?
So negative working capital, I guess, is wherein the company the obligations of the company surpass its expected realizations from its various assets, be it receivables, be it debtors. So the company, to compensate for its negative working capital, may borrow from various other sources, so that there is no interference in its operations part.
Looking at your knowledge of finance and the professional skills that you have acquired in finance, have you read something about the budget, which was 5 days back, which was presented in the parliament?
Yes,
What are
sir.
your views on the
I
budget? What are your views on the budget?
Sir, this budget was mainly focused on expenditure part, since our economy still recovering, and since due to coronavirus there was huge pressures on the economy, be it economic, be it various other pressures. So the government is looking for an expenditure budget, wherein the government is trying to spend on various infrastructure, various schemes, when the government is trying to boost consumption. And once so that there is an increase in demand and more money is expended, so that once the
As a
infrastructure is there.
financial, as a financial analyst, Hemant, how would you
Yes, sir.
look at this budget? What is your thought process? Do you think it's a correct budget, or there can be something? If you would have been a finance minister, let's say you are representing this budget in the parliament, what would be the changes that you would like to have in this budget?
Sir, I think uh, the finance minister has tried to allocate various funds to most of the areas, but I think various important schemes like women empowerment, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, the government introduced, and the government in this budget has not allocated any such funds to that scheme. The government introduced various new schemes, but I think older schemes which were very useful and the government was very successful in introducing it as well as implementing it to certain extent, the government has overlooked that schemes. So if I would have been in finance minister's position, so I would have tried to cover up those older schemes as well which were successful, so that an inclusive development is there, and we just don't see on the new part. We also think of the older schemes which were very beneficial for the entire country. So
Okay,
that would have been.
are you aware of those farm bills which because of which the some farmers are protesting against? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell
Yes.
me why very few states are protesting against the farm bills.
Sir,
Is it the whole
actually,
India that is protesting against? I don't see that a lot of people from the south side are protesting against the farm bills. I don't see any protest in Bihar or in other states or any states in the south. They are not protesting. Why there's so much protest from Punjab, Haryana, and now that we have also joined? What do you think? What could be the reason why only these 3 or 4 states are protesting against the farm bills?
sir, because I think that the farmers, to my knowledge, I think that they are of the view that once these farm laws are introduced, so they are fearing that since the new farm laws, the government has provided more opportunities to them, so that they not only restrict themselves to sell their produce in the agriculture produce marketing committees, but they can sell their produce to private players as well. So the farmers of Punjab and Haryana, they are thinking that this the new laws haven't mentioned any MSP. So the farmers, they think that this is a system wherein the government is trying to slowly abolish MSP, which the government guaranteed 1.5 times of their cost. So these farmers are thinking that of the fear that the MSP will be abolished, they are doing so, and
Why
more
only
so
Punjab and
the.
Haryana then? Why only Punjab and Haryana and UP? Why not the farmers from Tamil Nadu are protesting against it? I don't see any
Sir,
protest in
most.
Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, most of the farmers are happy with the farm laws, but the person who are protesting are mainly the middlemen who will be having severe losses due to this, because this new farm laws eliminates middlemen. This provides a new ground for this farmer so that they can directly sell the produce to outside, to be it private players, be it big companies. So, and this Punjab and Haryana, I think so, more so there is an awareness problem. And since the government should have reached before implementing farm laws, the government should have taken into consensus and should have spread and should have introduced an awareness program wherein every farmer should have been made aware of the various farm laws, the benefits which they'll receive, be it in the short term, be it in the long term. And so, if the government would have taken corrective steps and should have thought upon how before implementing, so I think that this law, this farm protests which are going on still now wouldn't have occurred.
Okay. Tell me, Hemant, in a company, is it the cost of equity or the cost of debt that is higher? Typically,
Sir, I think Sir, I think cost of debt is higher because uh, if a company issues debt, it brings along with it a fixed interest obligation. Whereas if you raise equity, there is not an obligation of the company that it has to pay dividends. It's the company's it is in the company's will, according to the decision of the board members in their board meeting, that the company can decide to pay dividends. And but if the company issues debt, first of all, the company needs to pay fixed interest obligation, and wherein and after a specified period of time, be it if the company issues debt in the form of bonds or anything, the company has to make repayment of the entire principal amount which it has borrowed. Wherein in case
so
of
what do you
equity,
think? A
the
company should consider issuing the debt instead of equity, or it should be equity instead of debt?
Sir, I think raising equity through IPOs and in secondary markets, it requires a lot of compliance, but the company should still consider issuing equity because debt brings a fixed interest obligation, and wherein in case of equity, the company is not obligated that it has to pay dividends or it has to repay the amount to the shareholders as long it has stated itself as a going concern company. So I think that the company should consider issuing equity, whereas in the ratio for a company should be 2:1, where debt should be 2 and equity should be 1, so as to maximize the gain of the company.
Okay. What is CAPM?
So CAPM is capital asset pricing model, wherein we use the return on equity, wherein we calculate the return on equity based on various parameters. We consider a risk-free rate, that is the rate which will earn if we invest in a government security, or when we have no risk of getting the payment back. We are assured of getting the payment back, be it fixed deposits such as or anything else. And we consider the market rate of interest, that is if we invest the amount in the market, so what rate the market is giving. And we consider a beta is the change in value of the stock as compared to the market. That is, if a market moves by 1%, then how much the value of the stock is moving. So we calculate the return, our desired return. Suppose if I
All
want a
right,
return of
Hemant.
15.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for this answering this question. I just want to ask, looking at your academics, I found that you scored 90.4 percentage in your 10th class, and then you scored
Yes, sir.
92.25% in your 12th, and in your BCom you only scored 58.33. And there's a big change in the percentage of the mark, right? So you
Sir,
scored so
actually,
low in commerce. What is the reason? Why did you score so low in your graduation?
sir, during my graduation, I was pursuing CA course along with my graduation. So I think that my extra focus on CA course has led my performance dropped in graduation, because there were various instances in which we had both our college exams as well as our CA exams on the same days. So I used to appear for college exams from 9 to 11, and from 2 to 5 we had our CA exams. So due to this pressure, I think so, and mm, this was the primary reason, I think so, that my performance in
Okay, so
graduation
you did
dropped.
your graduation year in the 2015. What were you doing in the last 6 years?
So last in 2016, I cleared my CA, and we had to pursue articleship, the practical training when we pursue CA course, which was continuing till my February 2017, sir. So in June 2017, I cleared my CFA, appeared for CAT in 2017, November 2017, And from 2018 onwards, I have been mentoring students in various subjects of chartered accountancy, as well as I am guiding students on their career paths.
Tell me
So,
two things that you have learned in your during the mentoring the CS students in your teaching period. What are the two things that you have learned which will helpful for you in MBA?
sir, I think the patience which I have gathered while teaching students, because I was not initially that patient, but we need to take care of each and every student. So a student might understand a particular thing in very first attempt, but there might be students who might not understand. So I used to
How
ask,
patient will how being patient will help you in MBA?
sir, I think during the various projects which will be assigned to me, and when we will be working in a group, I think listening to everyone and then coming at a consensus. This very thing will require me patience, perseverance, so that I am open to all suggestions. So this will be benefited due to my patience, sir.
What are your hobbies, Hemant?
Sir, apart from academics, I like playing badminton as well as watching badminton. I have represented my school at the badminton in the state level. Uh, I was a captain of my badminton team, so I had to select a group of players, young players, who were to represent our school in inter-school tournament. So they performed well, and school gave me the opportunity to represent my school in the state school games. And
How is India
I
performing in badminton at international level?
Sir, India is performing good. This post-pandemic three tournaments were there, wherein an Indian was not able to secure a place in semi-finals. But overall, if we see that India is performing good, we have many good players coming from India, be it in singles, doubles category. We have various. We can see now that two young players, this Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy, and Ashwini Ponappa from Hyderabad, they have entered into top 20 of mixed doubles, which is quite a great achievement, because earlier mixed doubles was a category in which India was not performing at all well. So, and in singles category, we have Kidambi Srikanth, Parupalli Kashyap, and how can we forget Pusala Venkata Sindhu, who won as the last year World Championship gold. She was recognized by Prime Minister even. So India is performing pretty good, sir, in recent days.
Or that's it from my end, Hemant. Thank you for giving this interview. Now I would
Thank
like to give you the feedback. Right. Firstly, in
Yes,
the
sir. Thank you,
introduction
sir.
part, you did a one mistake that
Yes, sir.
there's no need to mention that you could not clear the cat in the right.
Ha, sir.
Why are you even
Yes, sir.
mentioning it? Why are you even mentioning it?
Yes,
There's no
sir.
need to tell something that you have not done. They are not going to check whether you have appeared for cat in the previous year or not. There's no need to
So I
mention
should
it.
say, so I should say
Instead,
that
you
I
could
appeared
mention
for.
your hobby there, right? It's you
Okay, sir.
were so comfortable while answering the questions when I asked you about your hobbies,
Yes,
and
sir.
you have so many facts, you have names of the badminton players, right? So you know everything about badminton. I can clearly see, right? So
Yes, sir.
I don't see that you have you have a shortage of the answers, right? When it comes to the knowledge part. If I ask you a
Okay,
question
sir.
on hobbies, you are able to answer it. If I ask you a question from finance, you are able to answer it. So why mentioning something negative in the introduction part? Why don't you include the hobbies, right? Why don't you mention
Yes, sir.
if you want to increase the length of the introduction? Why don't you just mention the strength or hobbies part, right? So that you
Okay,
can
sir.
expect question from it and then you can talk. Always tell them
Okay.
something, right? Which you are which you want to talk about. Right.
Yes, a
So
comfortable way.
why talk a negative point of yours? I personally don't see that that not clearing the cat in the first or second attempt is a negative thing. So there's no point of mentioning it to them.
So, so sir, I shouldn't mention that I appeared for cat in three attempts, or I should mention
No,
that.
no. Why should if they ask then mention if they ask have you appeared for cat earlier then mentions yes I have appeared for twice but that time I was could not I was also involved in my other projects like I was doing CA CFA so could not secure a good percentile there only if they ask if they are not asking why would you say
Otherwise,
that they will
okay,
never
sir.
ask in
Okay,
fact
sir.
they will never ask have you appeared for cat earlier or not I have never seen a question in the interview where the interviewer is asking that have you appeared for the cat earlier okay
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'll
0.1% चांस भी
Dragon.
नहीं है कि ये क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे आपसे तो ये
नहीं
पॉइंट
सर, वो
Introduction part वैसे
वो
आपका अच्छा है काफी. Why would you? So
हाँ
you have
सर.
so many things to talk about, right? Your
ओके सर.
qualification, in fact, is you are overqualified actually for MBA. And to be very frank,
ओके
so I
सर.
don't think, or based on this resume, they are going to reject you, right? You are able
ओके
to
सर.
convince me on your financial skills, right?
ओके
Your
सर.
academics or 10th and 12th are so good. BCom again, you clearing CA final, CFA level one, CFA level two automatically overcome your less marks in BCom. You have already,
यस सर.
if you could not secure a good marks in BCom, but then based on the finance you have cleared so many examinations, right? So I don't have any doubt when it comes to your knowledge about commerce or
ओके सर.
about finance. It's clearly visible in your resume. So
ओके सर.
I don't think you need to worry about these things, right? That you could not clear CAT in the last two attempts, right? And
उसको हटा ही दूंगा सर
plus बिल्कुल
इंट्रोडक्शन
बिल्कुल
से.
उसमें include ही नहीं करना है. And
ओके सर.
I am perfectly fine with your answers. And the small correction that I would like to do from my end would be that while I'm answering the question, for example, when I ask you what is CAPM, you need to just make me understand in two sentences only. You're taking too
हाँ
long, right?
सर.
They will not give you that much time, right? I
ओके
think
सर.
it's better to quick with your answer. You need to be quick with your answers, okay? And
ओके सर.
don't explain everything in 4 or 5 sentences. It's better to explain them in 2 sentences, right? If they are
ओके सर.
asking me a direct question, what is CAPM? Then I'll explain it in 2 sentences. That's it. Then, if
ओके
they
सर.
want to ask further, what's the application of it? There's no supposed to go into the beta part and all these things. Yes, if they're not asking, right, any other questions, then you can keep on talking on it, keep on talking about it.
ओके.
But then
ओके.
your answers are correct. Every answer that you have given to me is conceptually correct. The presentation
ओके
is
सर.
what we need to improve upon. That's it. You need to be
ओके सर.
more presentable while answering it. I mean, in your tone while you are talking about it. I mean, I want you to be a bit more confident while you are answering these questions, right? Your tone need
ओके
to
सर.
be more confident. I need to see a confidence in your voice, right? You
ओके
conceptually, you're
सर.
perfectly fine, right?
ओके
Conceptually, आपके
सर.
सारे answers सही हैं. So थोड़ा सा
ओके
tone
सर.
confident mode में लेके जाना है. I don't think that there would be a reason that they will not be selecting you. So just be confident. Okay,
ओके सर.
I saw a bit lack of confidence while presenting the answers. Okay,
ओके सर.
in your tone, not in your overall presentation, but
ओके सर.
in your voice, right? So we need to work small work on that. That's it. I guess you'll be able to do it.
ओके सर.
Others, just be confident. I'm pretty confident that you will definitely get through with the interview from IIM-Rohtak. Okay,
ओके
I'm
सर. होप सो.
101%
होप.
sure, right? So just be confident. I don't see that there would be any reason that they will find in your profile overall and in your presentation that they should not be selecting you. Okay, so just be confident
ओके
and
सर.
give your interview. Other than this, I
ओके
don't
सर.
find anything that I would like to say that you need to improve on this. Everything is perfectly fine. And
ओके सर.
the form that you have given to me, have you submitted this form to IIM Rohtak also?
Sir, actually, this my 10 and 12 marks. This are best of 5 and best of 4. So my actually overall percentage is 87. But
Okay.
so this is my resume. So they didn't ask me to submit a resume. They asked to fill the form. So
Okay. So
form
okay.
in.
So okay. There I can see that you have mentioned the state. You have in academic achievements. You have mentioned that you have scored exemption marks in SFM. What is
Yes, sir.
exemption marks in SFM?
Sir, actually in CA course, if you are scoring above 60 in a particular subject, and if you fail in that attempt, so you don't need to give that paper in your next attempt. So above
Okay.
60, we call it an exemption. Means
Okay.
you are exempted from
That's great.
appearing.
All right. Actually it's always better to present something, because then you need to under your resume you need to explain what is the meaning of the word exemption. But if you are not submitting this resume, then it's okay.
Okay, sir.
Any word I'm not supposed to know everything about that you have mentioned, right? For example, I
Yeah.
might not be able to interpret what is scored exemption marks in SFM, so it's better to explain
Yes.
what exemption word mean at the bottom of the resume. This is generally the standard
Okay, sir.
format, but anyways, if you're not submitting the resume there, you're going with the form, so obviously there would not be such space to write it down. So I
Yes,
don't
sir.
see any other issue in your resume also. That's great, Hemant, right? Wish you all the best. I hope you will
Thank you, sir.
get through with this
Thank you, sir.
interview, and I'm pretty confident you will definitely get through with it, right? So you appeared for it,
Okay,
and
sir.
soon we will be giving the good news to all our viewers also. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, all right. Just a minute, huh?
Okay, sir.